Do the plays get our Irish up?
Conor McPherson's Dublin Carroll deals with life choices in a funeral parlor at Christmas time. John has been working at a funeral parlor for decades as the go-to guy and driver. Mark is newly hired and getting the ropes from John, who seems desperate for someone to talk to. John is beginning to regret his alcoholic days when he wasn't there for his wife and daughter and had his attentions elsewhere. Can one fix mistakes of the past?
You see, it's kind of a typical Irish story where the man is an alcoholic and all that stuff, but and neglects his family. But and also it's almost like a one-man show. But the actor is so brilliant. You know, Jeffrey Bean is just who played John. He's so amazing that you just don't really care if no one else ever appears. You know, and very mesmerizing actor. And then, you know, he has this assistant, like Eva said, they're working in the funeral parlor. And I was a little disturbed. What is his regret? He's almost kind of crying at times about his past. And then his daughter shows up, you know, and she said,
"Don't give away too much."
No,
Just be careful.
I love you, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And, well, you know, finally, I had a little confusion, but Eva cleared it up, that he neglected his family, neglected his daughter, and there was nothing else bad involved, and it's kind of like...
Well, he neglected the mother, too. I mean, basically,
the mother too,
he neglected the family because he was caught up in this alcoholic phase, and he tried to stop being an alcoholic and thought he was under control, but, you know...
he's still drinking a little bit, you know, he's still drinking, you know,
but the ancillary characters, you know, Mark is the assistant who had his own little drama going on, and the daughter and father scenes, they were just very well done. It wasn't the typical, you know...
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. It was such a very good acting, all of them, but he was the best actor, Jeffrey Bean.
And also,
so otherwise the play could have fallen apart because the story is not the greatest story. We have heard it so many times. The Irish people drink and they go to the pubs and all that stuff, then don't come home, you know, to come home late and neglect the family. But we didn't concentrate on that part, actually, somehow or the other. He had this sing-song quality in him.
And he was very appealing. And also, this is Conor McPherson, which is usually very, very dull and boring, you know.
No, I love him.
I don't.
I love his writing.
But this I found riveting, and I enjoyed it immensely. So I
did too. I really loved it. And I also like the writer very much.
On Theatre Row, Keane Company is reviving Brian Friel's Molly Sweeney, and it's directed by Jonathan Silverstein. And it's sort of a monologue play like Conor McPherson's usually are. And it involves a middle-aged woman who from early childhood was blind, and her husband is a man who has many different projects and many of them fail, but he's very enthusiastic. His latest project is to try to make sure that his wife can get her sight restored. There's a doctor in this remote village of Ballybeg who was once like a leading ophthalmologist, but his life fell apart when his wife left him, and he sees this as a chance to be on the top of his profession again. Both the doctor and the husband sort of argue, well, she has nothing to lose, we might as well try it. But in the second act, we realize that there is some stuff to be lost when you get your sight restored. It's a very sensitive, very wonderful play, and she's a wonderful character. She's willing to go along with the men in this. She's happy to visit the land of the sighted, but she's not sure she wants to live there. And even when things really do go south, she still finds a way to maintain her equilibrium. I thought this was a wonderful production of a really good play.
Tina Satter's Is This a Room has taken an actual FBI transcript interrogating Reality Winner, yes, that is her name, Reality Winner, who had blown the whistle on the possibility of Russian interference in the presidential election. Emily Davis as Reality seemed more nervous about her pets than what the FBI might uncover. Pete Simpson and T.L. Thompson as the FBI agent seemed so calming, friendly, and non-threatening as they teased the real facts out of Reality. Becca Blackwell, as the rest of the people involved in the interrogation, with just her expressions, told more than you would get from just listening to the recorded conversation. This was oddly compelling, and the truth of the matter made me question the real justice here, and I gave this a happy face.
But I had no idea what this show is all about, and it was just like an Emily Davis, who plays a reality winner, very young girl. It's most effective. I know that Eva said that she was like more worried about the pets, but she was so extremely nervous and scared that I think this was her defense, to just like kind of concentrate on the pets and not concentrate what the FBI. She kind of.
I never thought of that because she seemed so like open to like being investigated.
She was
like
shaking.
It was fine.
She was shaking. This was like she was so young, so frightened. I was so scared. I hate the word FBI. I hate them. I hate the word FBI. I tell you, and all people who can interrogate you, and they were unbelievably effective. The actors, they were talking to her and coming very, very, very close to her from all three sides. There were three men, and then she's just like inside. They were so close to her. It was so threatening.
But to me, it wasn't friendly. They seemed so friendly, like we understand. I mean, this is.
That was just for a moment.
No. They always seemed like they were very
yeah.
clever. How they seemed so like we're on your side kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they got her to finally reveal things. Because
yeah, but she was going to reveal things anyway.
No,
because they were
no.
Yeah, well,
No,
you see,
this
was their approach, but I didn't think they were very nice. For a little while, they seemed very phony to me when they were saying, "Are you okay? Do you want a glass of water? Is the dog okay? The cat okay?"
But I think that's because you already had this like image of the FBI as scary things. So you were already projecting your fear there.
But,
while me, I was sort of detached from the
all
whole
right,
thing.
maybe that might be one reason, but I think the actors were so brilliant. The ones who played the FBI, they were so threatening. I was like this. I was
but
like,
see,
my God, this can
I did not find
happen.
them threatening.
I did.
You found them. That's the point I am making.
And that's why I love the play, because it was real. It's based on a real story, first of all. And I was like, oh my God, this poor girl, possibility of something very dangerous. They're looking for,
But we forgot to mention that this is redacted. So every now and then there were certain things they could not say. It took me a while to figure that out. There'd be like this light, this sort of blackout and light coming on.
I didn't understand that for a second, but then I said, what is this like?
Because it was to show the stuff they couldn't talk about. So it was just, I mean, you wouldn't believe how, you would not think this would be interesting, and it is.
No, because it is, it's so well done. It's a bare stage, and they're only like, there's no place to sit or anything, and
you hear the sound effects of the pets, so you get to hear the pets, so you get to imagine them.
And there's no place to sit and all, and they keep saying, you want to sit down? Do you want to go to the room? Do you want to do this? And while at the same time, I wish I could just get up and show you the movement, they kept coming, encroaching upon her like that, it was just so scary. It was so intense. I loved it. I mean,
but to me it wasn't.
I love the acting.
But I said it a million times. It was not scary to me. It was like, are you okay?
Oh my God, she's not afraid of the FBI and interrogation. It's amazing.
Well, I was, because I didn't know, I couldn't remember what happened. I mean, I remember the name Reality Winner. I remember this was an actual thing, but it's like, so to me it was interesting because I didn't remember.
FBI do not come to anybody's house unless and until they're gonna
they're not your friends.
Take you away. They're not your friends. Happy face, because great acting and wonderfully done.
Yes, I agree.
Rose Tattoo by one of my most favorite playwright, Tennessee Williams. I go see everything he does, So this play is, what is her name?
Serafina.
No, Serafina, but the actress.
Marissa
Tomei. I thought she's Italian, right? The character Serafina is a widow. Her husband has recently died, and the neighborhood women are very mean to her at times. Sometimes they're a little bit nice because they're always keeping an eye on her, and they're like children running around and all that stuff. And she's mourning.
There's a woman with an evil eye.
Yeah, she's mourning, all that stuff. But I had a little problem with the set because it is huge. It's like there's no. This play is supposed to take place in an apartment. Like later on, things are going to happen which are very intimate, But this is like the stage is full of penguins. I don't know why they were there.
Penguins?
Yeah.
Penguins?
Yeah, the red. No, not penguins. What is that? The red.
Flamingos?
Roses?
They seem like
Candles?
no, those like
Flamingo.
birds. The birds.
Flamingos.
Flamingos. Sorry.
fine.
Oh, pink
I got it.
flamingos.
Pink flamingos. Tons. Sorry about that. Tons and tons and tons of them. And then the whole background was the ocean, like the water, right? Which looks very, very nice, right? So I'm just saying, is it taking place in Sicily? Because there was so much water.
Well,
and
it almost seems
everything.
like it took place in Florida rather than.
Yeah, I know, but I was like, what are these flamingo doing there? You know?
Well,
Yeah.
the whole thing, and the thing
is
is,
odd.
the way they kept going in and out of the house, like where's the door? It's like they kind of appear in the house
Yeah.
and disappear in the house. It's just,
Yeah.
but let's forget the. So we
No,
we
but
all
that
agree.
it loses the intimacy of that that particular play because
See,
she and then like somebody shows up and who's whatever she kind of they fall in love with each other. But the thing is this, like, for me I was like, I kept trying to figure it out. Is this outdoors? Is summertime? Maybe it's summertime. But this Sicily, I kept thinking of Sicily because she's Italian. But then I'm saying, Marissa to me she's trying too hard to be Italian. And she's Italian, I heard, I find out
She's
Italian.
very Italian. In fact,
But her
she
accent was terrible.
She has relatives in Sicily. I mean, her relatives are all over Italy. She is pure Italian.
Oh, she's pure Italian,
yeah,
but she
yeah.
was struggling with the Italian accent. I'm sure she's American
Oh.
now, and all that stuff. So, to tell you the truth, this play did not really work for me because I'm in love with Tennessee Williams, and Pinter's play did not work for me because of the set as well. So I think sets are important. This was like a fair. It's like a circus. Don't you think?
No, I'm disagreeing with you now. I mean, as far as, no, I agree with you about the set, but the thing is, I guess sometimes I can just disregard the set, especially when it comes to Tennessee Williams. Because here, I mean, all of high drama. We all love Tennessee Williams. He's our patron saint of high drama. So my problem was I have an image of what Serafina looks like. But Marissa Tomei, to me, was such an amazing actress that eventually she just got so into that role, and I was so into it. And plus, I love Tennessee Williams, his language, his plays, everything so much that I just can completely disregard. My turn to talk. I can totally disregard all the crap that they throw at it because I'm just so enamored of what the play is going on and the people and everything they're saying that I just kind of put blinders on and just enjoy it and just concentrate on the Tennessee Williams part of it. And I thought the acting was great. I thought Marissa Tomei was wonderful.
So this is my turn now, right? Okay.
No.
So
Well, I'll let you go on forever.
No, it's okay. It's all right. The thing is, I had to worry about the pink flamingo first. I had to worry about where is it taking place. I had to worry about why there's children running in and out and all that stuff,
Oh, yeah, the children running in. I have to mention.
Yeah.
Now, was that a little boy or was it supposed to be a goat?
I have no idea.
That is what confused me. I couldn't understand.
This is another problem.
I couldn't understand whether he was supposed to represent a goat or be a little kid.
So,
that
and
was
also,
weird.
I kept thinking about Anna Magnani. I mean, Anna Magnani playing Serafina. No one can take that away from her. And she's very...
If you've seen it. I mean, not everyone. I have not seen it.
I've
never seen the movie.
I've seen it. Marissa to me is not sexy enough. It's not... She's slim. She's slim and nice, an American actress,
Sensual.
Star.
Not
But
sensual.
but Anna Magnani is like... You will call her fat, but she's sensuous.
But
and
she
was amazing.
Yeah,
passion.
But that's the thing is, you see, that's what I was saying before. I mean, you have a picture of Serafina as this zoftic, earthy woman. But the thing with Marissa and the guy that played the young fellow, Giuseppe
He was
Alvaro Eamon Elliott.
He was awful.
No, we are so disagreeing on this. I mean, he was so damn sexy, and the chemistry between them, it was like, wow! And we forgot to mention the fact that she has a young daughter who is like,
Yeah, we forgot
she's
that.
embarrassed about her mother, and she wants,
she wants to have a date, and mother's very conservative.
Yeah,
As far as it comes
she's
to the
sort of
daughter,
like,
she's a really tough Italian,
keeps
conservative
her under lock
Catholic.
and key and won't
But
let her
then
have
for
fun.
herself, she's fine.
Yeah.
She turned out to be fine.
Yeah, she has to meet the boyfriend who
I
happens
know-
to be a sailor, and
He was saying I had the image of Anna Magnani, and that's why. No, I had the image of Serafina. And the way the playwright writes a character, this is how the director have to cast. somehow.
No, you don't, because look, I mean, since we're going to movies, in The Graduate, Dustin Hoffman was brilliant in that, but it was supposed to be Robert Redford. Audrey Hepburn was brilliant in Breakfast at Tiffany, but was supposed to be a Marilyn Monroe type. No, it has to do with how good an actress you are. And to me, Marissa Tomei got it. I thought she was fabulous, and her passion and everything was just so out there. I mean...
When I go to see a play, and especially my favorite writers, I want to really listen to their words. I don't want to think about this and why is this happening.
Well, that's what I did.
I want to think. I want to listen to the language.
Well, that's what I did.
But it's distracting.
I did not let all that crap distract me. The Goat Boy. Screw the Goat Boy. I'm going to enjoy Tennessee Williams.
I know. If I could have that, I'm a very thin-skinned person, and things affect me differently. But I will still give like a mixed.
Oh no, I'm giving a complete, except for, I mean, negative for the set and the Goat Boy and all that other crap, you know. But, I mean, for the rest of it, oh my gosh, total happy face.
Rakugo is a 400-year-old storytelling tradition. Like many Japanese art forms, it requires discipline and rigorous 3 to 4 year apprenticeship with a Rakugo master. It consists of 2 parts, a comic monologue introducing the artist and a humorous story during which he uses a hand towel and fan to perform all the parts. Although born a Canadian, Katsura Sunshine has been a student and practitioner of Rakugo for 21 years. He was renamed Sunshine and given permission and the honor to use the patronymic Katsura by esteemed Rakugo master Katsura Banshi VI when he was accepted as the master's 15th apprentice in 2008. He is only the 2nd Western Rakugo storyteller in the history of Japan. Mr. Katsura's presentation was solid, exquisitely prepared, profoundly professional, and extraordinarily entertaining. A very, very funny man. He will be appearing at New World stages through January. During that time, in keeping with the requirements of Rakugo, the stories will be changed from month to month in order to maintain the interest of the audience. Great art, beautifully performed, earns a happy face for Mr. Katsura. And I wanted to add to here that during this month he is performing children's stories in lieu for Christmas and that sort of thing, so they're good for the kids. Next month he's going to be talking about bedroom stories, with that sort of thing. So they change, and it's very, very funny. Happy face for Mr. Katsura.
Will Arbery's Heroes of the Fourth Turning focuses on young folk reuniting after graduating from a liberal arts Catholic college in their small town in Wyoming and what they turn into. Old school chums gather at Justin's house after returning to town to support their favorite teacher, Gina, who is now the president of their former college. Gina is the mother of Emily, who appears to be fragile due to her constant bodily afflictions. Kevin is emotionally fragile, and Teresa is the only one who seems so sure of everything. Past indiscretions are brought up, present-day accomplishments are exchanged, and the future is delved into with the current political Republican regime and impending eclipse of the sun. Will doubts be resolved? Will the confident lose faith? What is that mysterious noise? Will Arbery did the best he could to try and explain all the religious details to us non-Catholics in the audience. But it was like explaining math and went on with my head. But we have a Catholic here who can explain all the Catholic stuff.
Someone recently asked me what I look for in a play. That's a big question, but I told him I can figure out if a play is good by checking on what's going on in my head while I watch it. If my head is filled with interesting, complicated thoughts and feelings, it's a good play. Will Arbery's Heroes of the Fourth Turning is the best play I've seen this year, and it will probably still be the best on December 31st. The play contemplates sex and sexuality, abortion, Goldwater and the history of conservative politics since, Civil War in the Trump era, God, Jesus, the Virgin Mary, grace, and that's just off the top of my head. There's enough intellectual food here to nourish you for months, maybe years of thought. If you like musicals or dramatic action or spectacle, this play may or may not be for you. But if you love those fascinating intellectual discussions with your friends, if that's what you love, hurry to Playwrights Horizons to see this play before it closes on November 10th.
The acting was so good. I mean, they were so intense in all their opinions and intellectual arguings and everything else back and forth and where they stand and everything, that you just completely get swept up in all the emotions despite not understanding. Like, I don't even know what is a hero of the fourth turning. I mean, even the title. I mean, it was explained to you and told, but I don't know anything about fourth turnings or anything like that. What the heck was that?
I think the play does require, or it helps if you have a certain knowledge base, if you're familiar with conservative politics, if you're familiar with Catholicism. I think all that helps a great deal.
So what is Heroes of the Fourth Turning?
Heroes of the Fourth Turning is based on a theory that social life comes in cycles. First there's a period of crisis, then there's a period of it's decline, crisis, peace, you know, they come in cycles. And heroes come during the fourth turning to save humanity and restore peace.
And so, and that reflects on the characters and what
Yes.
they were going through.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was very clever how they integrated all this Catholicism into the actual plot of the play and the characters' lives.
Yeah, the actors were fantastic, and they were also very persuasive and convincing, even when they were talking about drinking or getting drunk or throwing
Trump
up
even.
or what
Or Trump even.
or Trump. Only one of them was pro-Trump, by the way. The others were just intelligent conservatives who weren't particularly pro-Trump.
But it was interesting how she put her facts across. It was finally interesting to hear someone, you know, you're always like, how could you feel that way for someone to be so confident in da-da-da-da-da-da. I found it fascinating. All these characters, I found the whole play extremely fascinating, and I'm giving it a happy face.
Me too. Happy face.
Barbara Hammond's Terra Firma, directed by Shanna Cooper, is a dystopian future allegory set on a small man-made island, a rusty naval defense platform, inhabited by a queen, her husband, their citizen, and later the husband and the citizen capture a hostage, a local cod fisherman, and a diplomat is brought in by a bottled message to try to settle the disputes, and later the queen and her husband's son comes back. There seems to be mysterious explosions going on. Can some peaceful way be found to settle these disputes? Will humanity survive? Does anybody give a damn about any of this? Wonderful performers, but an excruciatingly boring play.
So, yeah, give it a mixed face.
Yeah, mixed face minus, because the performers were good, but the play was dreadful.
And I agree, and what I say will be on Facebook because we're running out of time. Rebecca Gilman's A Woman of the World, directed by Valentina Frati, brings to our attention Mabel Todd, who was instrumental in publishing Emily Dickinson's poems. But there's a lot more to Mabel Todd than just her relationship to the publishing or knowledge of Emily Dickinson. She's supposedly giving a talk on her island, Hogg's Island, that she practically owns, but veers off course much to the chagrin of her invisible daughter, Millicent. She talks about her husband, who actually invented the photographies in order to make a solar eclipse possible to have it filmed. And she talked about travel. She was a very interesting character. And under the twinkly, mischievous gaze of Kathleen Shelvin, I was mesmerized by this woman that I had never heard of. She was certainly more interesting than her subject matter of Emily Dickinson. So much more on Facebook, but I give this a happy face plus because this was brilliant.
Tracy Lett's Linda Vista, directed by Dexter Bullard, concerns Wheeler, who's a 50-year-old man who's going through a messy divorce. His college friends set him up with this woman who's a life coach. She's much more optimistic than he is, but she may be a good match for him. But he kind of blows it when he gets involved with a young woman living in his apartment complex who was abandoned by her boyfriend and is now pregnant. And basically is just not a very likable person, and the other characters are just not that appealing either. And it's very long and very complicated, and not much interesting happens.
Yeah, I'm like, it's like Tracy Letts wrote this play like, oh, let's have all these skinny, sexy women fall in love with this middle-aged deadbeat douchebag.
Yeah.
And it was like, ew. I'm like, I had no sympathy for the characters. I could not understand why any of these women want to be anywhere near this guy. I mean, there's lots of nudity, and I love male nudity, but not in this case.
Not in this case.
No, both of us. It's like, it was just such a disappointment. I give it out.
I think Tracy Letts has written much better plays. So for me, this was Happy Face minus.
And this is a mixed face.
I mean, mixed face minus.
This is Jordan Auslander's review. Radiohole's now serving a guide to aesthetic etiquette in 4 courses. You have a choice between a sit-down messy dinner or observe in the peanut gallery where Jordan sat, which he preferred. Sit 3 rows back so you can avoid the splash zone. Choice of drinks to start: beer, popcorn, junior mints. Courses are served amidst theater of the absurd blather, apparently about the patriarchy, sex roles, and food as metaphor for sex. Much of it lost on this old white dude. Still surreal fun, and mercifully only an hour. He gave it a happy face minus. It was audacious 50 years ago. Longer reviews are on Facebook. This is where you can... I don't have much time, so I have to do this quickly. We're going to try to see The Independence, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof at the Gallery Players. And we are going to see Enchanted April and The Mystery of Edwin Drood. And all these we're going to see and talk about eventually. Andre de Shields is being honored November 11th, and it's a York Gala benefit. Master Voices Let 'Em Eat Cake at Carnegie Hall, The Brutes at the Players, the Vita at New York City Center, Parity production benefit, November 21st, Capitol Steps. Running out of time, so just have to go through this very quickly. Mummenschanz at Children's Theater, New Victory. We got carried away talking about the rose tattoo. And I'll mention all the cabaret stuff on the Facebook page, because there's a lot of good stuff going on there. Especially check out 92nd Street Y and the Wild Project, because there's some great stuff going on there. And great things going on at BAM. In fact, Mark saw Hamnet there, and the review's on our Facebook page. And these are the shows that we reviewed that you can find on our Facebook page. And you might not have much longer to pick up your Performing Arts Insider because he's not being able to afford to keep it up. So see what you can do to keep it going, because I can't live without it. Next show's November 23rd. And like us on Facebook and YouTube and everywhere else to find us.